What is airport, wherever you are? Welcome to a breakfast at Istanbul International Airport. So I just thought I would give you all a look at how things are here and update you on my travels, as well as answer any questions you have about travel, tell you the latest and greatest in travel news, and show you another part of the world, perhaps, depending on where you are. Susan, I know you're not currently there at the moment, but is the airport subject to Tokapi internet? It is not. The internet here is actually very good. I was able to fall asleep to live streaming on Netflix with no problem, but I guess we'll find out. But there are other problems here. One, the airport is insanely crowded, and the Turkish Airlines lounge is overcrowded because they have closed half of it, I hope, for renovations, and they have taken away, by doing that, at least half of the seating, if not more. And there's more passengers traveling now than there were the last time I was here 2 years ago. I think that's the last time I was here at this airport. And so there is now a stench of desperation about the place. Hi, Susan. Thank you. That's good because I forgot my microphone. It's back in the locker in the Turkish Airlines lounge. I appreciate you confirming that. So welcome to Istanbul. This airport is actually one of my favorite airports in terms of its beauty. I love its design, and it's very people friendly. Those are actual I see that the Wi-Fi in this airport is perhaps not the best. There is a Yotel Air transit hotel here for those who would be looking for a transit hotel. They also have sleep pods or sleep cabins, and sometimes those sleep Good morning and welcome to International Airport. If you have any questions about travel, questions specifically about Turkey and traveling in Turkey, let me know. I just finished a cruise with multiple stops in Turkey, and I've been here multiple times over the last, almost 20 years. And I've seen the changes that have come about. Some of them are excellent and some of them are absolutely deleterious. They are often indicated in the signs. Fear not, you will find one. As you see, they're pretty full, but I do see a couple of empty chairs anyway. Next zone. So let's go to another pier. We're just taking a nice morning walk here around the airport. If you have any questions, pop them in the live chat. Unfortunately, I haven't seen any questions in a while, so I have no idea if that's because the live chat has stalled or if just no one is actually asking any questions. You can see the enormity of this airport, and it is absolutely chock-a-block with restaurants, of course, duty-free, and, what is that over there? Oh, look, America, Arby's. Oh, there's also a Hardee's here, for those who know what Hardee's is. Yeah. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Turkish Airlines has succeeded in positioning itself as the hub airline of choice. Oh, I'm not going down there. There's too many people heading that way. Screw that. No, thank you. No, thank you very little. We're going to go back this way. I have an issue with crowds, and that's a crowd. So we're going to head over towards towards Pier D. Stay. Okay. Well, I just turned on mobile data, and hopefully that will improve this whole process. Pretty frustrating. I was going to take this walk anyway, so it's sort of okay, but also, I did really want to share it all with you, and it seems unwilling to do that. Okay, I turned on the mobile data. Let me know if that improves anything. Oh my God, technology. There's a reason I do medieval living history, and it's not because I love modern technology. Okay, welcome to Topkapi Palace, everyone. We'll see if it works this time with the internet, because I just turned on my mobile data. Because oh my God, I am so tired of low quality internet. World, get your shit together. Korea can do it, anyone can do it, right? I'm used to living in Korea where mobile data is high speed and ever present. And here at Istanbul International Airport, I can't even guarantee that the Wi-Fi is ever present. I can't even get a good, mobile data here at this freaking airport. Okay, let me know if you're back. I am flying to Houston and then connecting onward immediately to New Orleans. And no, Susan, I will not be spending any time in Louisiana. I'm getting picked up and whisked away to southern Alabama where this event is. So I will not really be in Louisiana or even Mississippi for very long. So I'm heading to an immersive 15th century event. I'm doing it via Istanbul. I departed yesterday from International Airport, and we're now just taking a nice morning walk before I am on a plane for 13-ish hours en route to Houston. I have a self-transfer in Houston, so those are always a little hairy. I was hoping I could get the tickets connected, but because there's so much gap in the time I started my travel and the time I actually get to Houston, that it just wasn't possible to connect the two reservations, even though they're Star Alliance partners, etc. So that means in Houston, I will do the immigration process, go through passport control, grab my bags, and then find a United counter and recheck them. If I'm very lucky, there will be a United counter right after the baggage claim in the international terminal of Houston. We'll see how lucky I am. I'll let you know. Otherwise, I'm going to have to haul my bags to some other part of Houston International Airport and check them at the United counter. But because United hubs out of Houston, I'm hoping that it will be easy. So that's a good tip. For those who don't know, when you fly into the US, if you have a connecting flight, so let's say you're flying from Istanbul to St. Louis, but you're connecting via New York, you will have to exit security. You will have to grab your bags, and you will have to recheck them. If you're lucky, there will be a counter right there when you exit security. If you're unlucky, you're going to have to go make your way to the terminal in which your airline actually has a counter. So just be prepared for that. Always plan plenty of time with layovers that have, because even though if you were to, say, miss that connection because of having to recheck your bags, the airline will put you on the next flight at no extra cost. It means you could lose your seat, like the seat you wanted. It sometimes means that you might have to take a downgrade from first class to business, or to economy, or economy plus to regular economy, and often you won't get any money refunded for that. So always plan plenty of time on those layovers. Back in August, about 8 hours wasn't enough time because afternoon thunderstorms came. The same afternoon thunderstorms that happen all the time in the US in the summer shut Chicago down and caused a delay in flights that had this horrible knock-on effect. So I ended up having to sleep overnight in Chicago International Airport unexpectedly and catch my flight the next day. Thankfully, it was an award fair, so it didn't really, I was able to rebook it for free because EVA Airlines is very good about that. But if it had been a revenue ticket, probably I would have not been able to rebook, or I would have had to pay a massive difference in fare. So with that in mind, if you are connecting on to a different airline that is not all on the same reservation, you might want to plan a day to make sure you actually get there in time and don't miss anything. So welcome to Istanbul International Airport. This is Pier D. This airport was built, well, it was opened in 2021 after some delays. Of course, COVID didn't help. This is the replacement for the old Ataturk airport, which really wasn't that old, and it was kind of nice. It wasn't as well organized as this one because it also, like many airports, metastasized in a cancer-like way. But yeah, this is a very, very beautiful airport in my opinion. Has the sort of sweeping architecture that is appropriate for such spaces. Now, there would have been plenty of seating here, but travel has resumed with a ferocity heretofore unseen, and therefore the airport is finding itself a little bit overcapacitated, and this is especially true in the lounges. My God, the lounges are definitely not ready to handle this. Maidens Tower, the magic of Istanbul. Yeah, well, that Maidens Tower, she's expensive to get into. It's like 20 euros just to get into that Maidens Tower, so screw you, Turkey. Turkey recently jacked up all of its prices big time for all of its museums, and I mean to exorbitant and absolutely unreasonable levels. So in 2013, Topkapi Palace cost 10 euros to get into. In 2025, it now costs 55. And yes, they've renovated and opened much of the harem. That doesn't make it worth 55 euros. Ephesus is the same. Used to be 10 euros. Now it's 55. It was 10 euros just to get into a tiny little castle, little, and I mean real little, on this island in Kujadazi with not a whole lot of historical significance and not very much left inside other than one single keep, very small keep. So if you're coming to Turkey, they have these museum passes. The museum passes are, of course, also not inexpensive, and they're odd because you can only use your museum pass once per site. So let's say you go to Topkapi Palace. It's pretty admittedly, and you decide you want to come back the next day. Well, you can't do that on the museum pass, despite the fact that the museum pass costs, depending on which one you get, 115 to 200 euros. Oh, and they're using the euro now because Erdogan has driven this country into the ground, and the Turkish lira is worthless. So we had some Turkish lira left over from our last trip 10 years ago, 12 years ago, right? And generally we just hold on to cash like that because we'll come back and we'll use it. Well, kept forgetting to bring it back. And so finally we come back with our Turkish lira. So the Turkish lira we had, it was 20 Turkish lira. That would have been 10 euros in 2013. That's now like 10 cents. So you know you fucked up when your currency devalues that much. So my tip there is, if you happen to find yourself with cash at the end of any trip, don't hold on to it because you never know what's going to happen to that currency and its value relative to your own and its buying power in the country. And even Turkey has finally adjusted its lira prices to reflect the value that the currency no longer has. So when I was here in 2021, I actually took a bus into the city, and the lira prices were still set at what they were when the lira was worth something. So I ended up getting a bus ticket for the hour ride into the city, like a kind of coach bus. It wasn't the nicest coach bus, but it was okay. It was a coach bus. It was only like 2 lira and 70 cents, which at the then exchange rate was like, 20 cents. Well, they've up adjusted all the lira prices to reflect the fact that the currency basically is tanked. Therefore, if you have any cash left over at the end of any trip in a foreign currency, I recommend you find something you can buy at the airport. Use it to get some food, some drink, maybe some kind of lovely, helpful souvenir if you see one at one of these souvenir shops. Right? Yeah. So, welcome to Topkapi Palace, everyone. No, this isn't Topkapi Palace. I'm sorry. Susan keeps mentioning Topkapi Internet, and at Topkapi Palace, the internet is terrible. The Wi-Fi is garbage, and there's something about that palace that just absolutely blocks the signal. I don't know what it is. But we had that issue all over in Europe. Unfortunately, trying to take you all into the historic spaces, we were utterly unable to do it because these fantastic buildings, in some cases built 2,000 years ago, apparently weren't designed for mobile reception. Who would have thought? Yeah. Hopefully, maybe someday we'll figure out a technology that will bounce the signals around the stone buildings, but until then, it limits what I can do with you all while I'm on my travels, unfortunately. So if you're enjoying my tour of not Topkapi Airport of Istanbul International Airport, and if you would like to follow me on more of my travels as I continue my perennial journeys around the world, then don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you'd like to support my content work and sharing travel tips and sharing blogging my adventures, then consider becoming a channel member. Extra benefits for channel members or a patron on Patreon. Same thing, exclusive footage, exclusive tips, exclusive news. Yeah, I also have a Discord for my members. So if you are a channel member or a patron and you haven't gotten the link for the private Creative Contessa Discord server, let me know and I'll get it to you. So here we are walking down Pier D. They have massive people movers here because this pier is probably easily a quarter mile long. Of course, with the exception of people who actually have mobility issues, everyone, these people movers aren't for you to not use your legs. The people movers are to accelerate your progress. Please actually use your legs and walk like these lovely people are doing. Do not stop and then block the whole thing with your luggage. If you don't want to walk, okay, then stand to the right to let those of us who would like to walk, or more specifically who are probably running to catch a flight, to pass you. Rant off. And if you are just joining, if you have any questions about traveling in Turkey, about flying into or out of places, about cruising, about travel really anywhere in the world. I've just finished a 25-day Mediterranean cruise, so if you have questions about cruising, you can ask them while we take this walk. If you see anything and you wonder what it is, let me know in the live chat, and maybe I'll see the live chat and be able to respond. I say maybe because the live chat seems to be possessed by demons. Sometimes when you fly into Istanbul International Airport, you will have to actually, and you're transiting, you might have to go through transit security.